What if I told you Israel has a weapon so advanced it doesn't even exist on Earth? Today, the truth about their hidden space defense is finally breaking open. Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today, we are diving into a subject that has been whispered about for years, analyzed by experts, denied by officials, and surrounded by an aura of mystery. Israel's hidden space defense program, long rumored but never confirmed, is finally revealing its true shape. What we are looking at is not just another military project, not just another satellite system or missile shield, but an entirely new layer of defense built high above the Earth, operating in an environment where speed, secrecy, and precision decide everything. This revelation is pushing the world to reevaluate what a modern battlefield really looks like, because the battlefield is no longer just on land, sea, or air. It is now in space. For decades, Israel has been known for its intelligence network, technological leadership, and mastery of defense innovation. Yet one part of its capabilities remained deliberately hidden: the expanding infrastructure of satellites, anti-satellite technologies, orbital surveillance platforms, and space-based early warning systems. Only fragments were known before, a few references in old defense papers, a couple of unusual launches, some mysterious classified budgets, but now enough pieces have surfaced that we can finally put together a clear picture of how Israel quietly built a protective shield stretching into orbit. Modern conflicts happen in milliseconds. Missiles no longer give minutes or hours of warning. The threat can appear with almost no notice. Hypersonic weapons move faster than sound multiple times over. Drones swarm silently. Saber attacks can blind an entire nation instantly. Traditional defense, focused on ground radars and aircraft interception, is no longer enough. Israel understood this early. It realized that if it wanted to survive future wars, it needed to see the world from above, understand threats before they launched, and create an orbital defense system that lets it act before the enemy can react. The foundation of Israel's hidden space defense lies in its reconnaissance satellites. These satellites can capture extremely high-resolution images, track movements, spot missile preparations, and monitor critical sites far beyond the reach of traditional surveillance. What makes these satellites more advanced is not just their cameras, but the artificial intelligence on board that can process images instantly. This allows them to detect subtle changes in patterns, small shifts in vehicles, new heat signatures, unusual construction, or early signs of missile fueling. Instead of waiting hours for analysts to examine images, Israel gets near real-time intelligence straight from space. But imagery is only one part of the system. Israel also uses radar satellites that can see through clouds, darkness, smoke, and camouflage. These satellites use synthetic aperture radar to penetrate visual barriers and produce accurate maps of activities on the ground. Whether it is night or day, stormy or clear, the satellites still see everything. Even underground facilities can be analyzed by detecting changes in the surface and heat signatures that escape through air vents or exhaust points. This means hiding military assets is becoming almost impossible. Another pillar of this hidden defense is communications security. Israel's satellites provide encrypted channels for military communication, even if cyber attacks hit ground networks. In a war scenario, when ground infrastructure is targeted, satellite communication becomes the lifeline. It keeps the military coordinated, ensures command decisions reach every unit, and prevents disruption of critical operations. Satellites also support drone operations, air defense networks, missile command systems, and intelligence sharing with allies. However, the real breakthrough, the part that was withheld from the public for years, is Israel's move into early warning space defense. Early warning satellites detect heat signatures from missile launches within seconds. Before the missiles even rise high into the sky, infrared sensors can detect the plume, calculate trajectory, and send instant alerts to defense systems. This allows missile interceptors to launch almost immediately, increasing the chances of stopping threats that travel at extreme speeds. These satellites are designed to look for the faintest glimmer of heat, even from hypersonic weapons that are difficult to track. The world knew the United States and Russia had such systems. China is building one as well. What shocked defense analysts is discovering that Israel quietly developed its own version, powered by miniaturized sensors and advanced algorithms. This is why Israel's Iron Dome, David's Sling, Arrow 2, and Arrow 3 systems respond so quickly. The timing never made sense before. Now it does. Israel has been feeding them information directly from space. One of the most mysterious parts of the hidden program involves small classified satellites launched under civilian covers. These satellites are believed to have multiple purposes. Some gather signals intelligence, intercepting important electronic communication. Others track enemy satellites, mapping their movement and predicting their intentions. A few are suspected of carrying technology capable of disabling or blinding hostile satellites in wartime, using lasers or directed electromagnetic pulses. None of this was confirmed publicly, but many unusual launch patterns suggest that Israel has quietly positioned assets in space to protect its own satellites and neutralize threats before they reach operational altitude. Israel also appears to be testing maneuverable satellites, small spacecraft that can shift orbits quickly. These can inspect objects in space, assess potential risks, and even shadow enemy satellites without being detected. In the future, such systems may be able to reposition themselves in seconds. This level of agility turns satellites into active defense tools instead of passive observation platforms. Another major component is Israel's long-range radar systems on the ground that work with satellites to create a full 360-degree aerial and orbital picture. These radars track ballistic missile arcs, spacecraft activity, incoming drones, and unidentified aerial objects. By fusing radar data with satellite imagery, Israel achieves unparalleled situational awareness. This integrated system is believed to be able to track multiple threats simultaneously across thousands of kilometers. Artificial intelligence is the glue binding the entire system together. Instead of relying solely on human analysts, AI processes millions of data points per second. It detects patterns humans might miss, prioritizes threats, predicts enemy actions, and alerts defense systems autonomously. This reduces reaction time from minutes to seconds. It also allows the military to shift from reactive defense to predictive defense, anticipating threats before they become real. On top of that, Israel is developing advanced space launch capabilities. Smaller rockets capable of deploying satellites quickly are being tested. These rapid launch systems could replace satellites lost to attacks or add new ones during emergencies. The ability to launch replacements or new intelligence platforms on short notice ensures the space defense system remains functional even in a high-intensity conflict. Another crucial piece is solar-powered satellites designed to stay in orbit for years without refueling. These satellites collect energy from the sun, powering sensors, cameras, and communication systems indefinitely. This makes them reliable assets for long-term observation and defense. The idea of satellite constellations is also emerging. Instead of relying on one or two large satellites, Israel is moving toward networks of small satellites orbiting together. These clusters can work collectively, sharing data and covering wider areas. If one is destroyed, the others continue functioning. This builds a resilient space defense that is difficult to disable with a single attack. Partnerships play a major role as well. Israel collaborates with the United States on missile defense and shares intelligence data. This cooperation strengthens early warning detection and improves interception accuracy. Combined research programs have pushed both nations forward in space technology. However, Israel maintains independent capabilities, ensuring that its security needs are met even without external support. What makes this entire revelation so significant is what it implies about future warfare. Space is no longer neutral. It is becoming the highest ground of battle. Nations are racing to put sensors, weapons, and surveillance systems in orbit. Whoever controls space controls information. Whoever controls information controls the outcome of conflicts. Israel's space defense is not meant only for defense against missiles. It is also a shield against cyber attacks, electronic warfare, satellite interference, and strategic deception. When combined with its air defense layers, Iron Dome for short-range threats, David's Sling for medium range, Arrow 2 and Arrow 3 for long range, and Arrow 4 under development, the space layer completes a multidimensional protective wall. This wall stretches from underground command bunkers to high-altitude drones to orbital satellites. Every layer reinforces the other, every sensor shares data with the next, every piece contributes to a seamless, real-time picture of threats. In the near future, Israel may introduce satellite-launched interceptors capable of destroying missiles from above. Testing for such systems is rumored to have begun. Launching interceptors from space reduces time to intercept significantly and targets missiles before they re-enter the atmosphere. This approach would turn space into an interception zone, stopping threats far away from Israeli territory. Another possibility being whispered about is the development of space-based lasers. Laser defense systems can hit targets at the speed of light. While ground-based lasers already exist, taking this technology to space removes atmospheric interference and increases range dramatically. Even a low-power laser in orbit could potentially blind enemy sensors or disable small satellites. Israel's research institutions are also exploring space-borne cyber defense. This involves using satellites as secure nodes that cannot be easily hacked. If ground networks fail, command systems can shift to space-based digital infrastructure. This ensures continuity of communication and operational control. Energy-efficient propulsion is another area gaining attention. Hall-effect thrusters, ion engines, and new chemical propulsion systems offer maneuverability and long operational life. Maneuverable satellites can change orbits, avoid debris, shadow adversaries, or enter new zones as needed. This adaptability is crucial in space defense. Space debris monitoring is another critical function. With thousands of objects orbiting the Earth, collisions can cripple defense satellites. Israel uses advanced sensors to track debris paths and automates satellite evasive maneuvers. This ensures its assets remain safe even in crowded orbits. Another fascinating element is stealth satellites. Some satellites are believed to have low radar visibility, making them harder to track. These satellites may operate in unusual orbits, carry encrypted communication payloads, or perform covert intelligence missions. Israel's hidden space defense is not just military, it also has civilian benefits. Satellite data supports agriculture, climate monitoring, natural disaster prediction, and urban planning. The same technology used to detect missile launches can detect wildfires early. Radar satellites can track floods, storms, and environmental changes. So while the motivation is security, the side effects improve life for civilians. The release of these details has forced experts to reconsider the balance of power in the Middle East. Nations with large militaries now face an opponent whose defense system extends beyond the Earth. This creates strategic complications. Attacking Israel requires bypassing not just ground defenses, but orbital surveillance, early warning systems, and AI-driven analytics. This capability acts as a strong deterrent. Countries think twice before escalation. The cost of launching missiles becomes higher when the chances of successful impact drop dramatically. Space defense adds another layer of protection that reduces the likelihood of surprise attacks. One of the most impressive parts of this system is its resilience. Even if some satellites are destroyed, others can take over. Ground systems can shift roles, backup networks activate. The system is designed for continuity under extreme pressure. No single point of failure can collapse the entire defense network. Looking forward, Israel plans to expand the number of satellites it operates. New launches will carry more advanced sensors, stronger encryption, improved cameras, and enhanced tracking systems. Miniature satellites, called CubeSats, will fill in gaps, providing additional coverage. Some satellites may even be linked using laser communication, enabling faster and more secure data transfer than traditional radio waves. Future upgrades may include autonomous satellites that make decisions without waiting for commands. These satellites can reposition themselves, activate sensors, or initiate protective measures based on real-time threat assessment. This level of autonomy is the next step in space defense. With all these developments, the world is witnessing a transformation in military strategy. Israel's hidden space defense was never meant to stay hidden forever. As threats evolved, revealing parts of the system became necessary. But the full extent is still unknown. What we see now may only be the surface of a much deeper program. Israel is preparing for wars that may never happen, conflicts that might start and end in minutes, battles fought with invisible weapons and silent signals. This is defense in the digital age. This is security in the era of hypersonic missiles, autonomous drones, and orbital warfare. The message behind this revelation is clear. Israel is determined to stay ahead, to innovate faster than its enemies, to build systems that protect its cities, its people, its future. Space is now the ultimate high ground, and Israel has taken a firm step toward controlling it. No one knows exactly how far this system will grow. New technologies emerge every year, new threats appear just as quickly, but one thing is certain: Israel's hidden space defense is now part of global military reality. It has changed how nations think, plan, and prepare. It has raised the stakes, shifted the balance, and opened a new chapter in defense strategy. This is the future unfolding before our eyes, a silent shield orbiting above, a network of intelligence and protection, a system built not just to fight wars, but to prevent them. And now that its secrets are emerging, the world will be watching closely to see what comes next.